Well, after what happened last night, there was no chance of a rate hike in Australia today. Basically, European bank shares were dumped as fear of a financial crisis reached fever pitch. It was sparked by statements from the head of Deutsche Bank, who remarked that it all reminded him of 2008, which was a bit alarming. So Deutsche Bank shares fell nearly 10%, and banks all over Europe saw their share prices plummet. The Frankfurt share market fell more than 5% overall, and prices on the other big European markets fell almost as much. Something similar probably would have happened on Wall Street, but was closed for Labor Day. Now here's a graph of the German index called the DAX, and as you can see, it's not just last night, it's fallen 30% in a month, which is rather shocking for the strongest economy in Europe. It's now becoming clear that most European banks are technically insolvent if they properly valued the loans they've made to countries like Greece, Spain and Portugal. They don't want to do that, of course, because then they'd have to raise more capital, and the markets don't want to give them any. So it does feel a bit like 2008. The local market fell 1.5%, getting it back towards the August lows. Financials and banks were hardest hit because global funds were just selling any banks they could lay their hands on. AMP and Macquarie fell 4%, Westpac 2.5%. Resources stocks were sold off as well, and so were media companies like Seven, with a lot of debt. The Aussie dollar actually wasn't really sold off in the end. It was down just a little. And I think it's starting to be seen as a safe currency, or at least not as risky as some. At least our banks aren't broke. And that's finance.